Alright students, this video is going to show you how to either get the fake data that you need in order to do your lab write-up, or show you how to analyze the data that you already collected. Either way, you need to watch this video so that you can see how to analyze the data and what data you're going to need to put in your lab notebook so that you can complete your lab write-up. The first thing we need to do is to get the data. If you have your data, you'll be using that. If you don't have data because of whatever failure happened in the lab, we'll just find it in Classroom. So right now I'm in my APES. I need to change to TurboChem. And in the classwork section, we're going to find the reaction rate of crystal violet sample data. This is what we want to click on. When you click on this link, it's going to directly download the fake data that we need to analyze. And so this is what we have. If you click on it right now, all that will probably happen is it'll bring up the Vernier Graphical Analysis program, which is fine, but it won't do anything else. So what we need to do is to choose a file. This is somewhat repetitive of what we want to do, but it's how I got it to work. So we can choose the file. Now my file, the graphical analysis, is going to be in my desktop. Yours is probably going to be in your downloads, and so you need to go over here to your downloads folder and find it there. Yours might look different than mine, but however we look for it, you need to look in your downloads folder. So I found my downloads folder along the side, or I could find it up here in the drop down menu. Your downloads are probably going to be a lot more significant than mine. You have a whole thing to wade through, but you'll need to scroll through and find this this file. It's easy to spot because it's going to be the one that's not grayed out. All the rest in your downloads file are probably going to be grayed out because they don't work for this program. So open it, and now we have two different graphs showing. We want to just look at one graph at a time. So I'm going to change this to just one graph. We have two different axes. The time here, we want to make sure this is showing time in the seconds, and over here is the absorbance. So this is the straight concentration of the crystal violet as it decomposes over time, and then we can change this to the other things. Now I want to uncheck the absorbance and then check the natural log. I can do the same thing for the inverse, so I can look at each of my graphs separately. We don't want to put them all on the same one because they're in different units and it looks really pretty messy. So it's easier to analyze just one at a time. Once we have each one up individually, we're going to want to put in a best fit line. So we have a best fit line here, where we're going to apply a curve fit. That curve fit we have options for. We want to make sure it's the linear, not a proportional, quadratic, or anything. So it should default to linear. We'll apply that line. And then we have a lot of different information over here. The y equals mx plus b, our slope, the y-intercept, and this value is called the r-squared value. Whichever one we use, we want to see it to have the number closest to 1. Now this one says 0.965. We want it much closer to 1. The one that you'll probably choose is probably close to 0.99. So we have that. Also, just visually, this does not look like it's going to be the match to the correct order. Complete that for the other two graphs, the natural log of the absorbance as well as the inverse of the absorbance, and then you'll be able to identify your slope based on the m value, and that will give you the constant. Again, you want to make sure that you use the one that matches a straight line, not one that's curved like this. So I'm not going to show you the others, but that's how you go about it, and make sure you choose the correct data set to identify what order your reaction is. Alright, hopefully that helps and it clears up anything that you need. The rest of the stuff then you can just put into your lab notebook as normal. You have the objectives, you have your materials, and then your procedure. You're still going to follow, you'll put in the procedure for your lab notebook as if you were successful in doing the lab and this is the data that you collected. If you collected your own data and you're successful in gathering it, then you'll just use that data for your lab write-up. Alright, thank you and enjoy. Have a good day.